members who table questions.
And Minister, the Public Service Superannuation Age of Retirement Act 2018 allows public service to continue working up until the age of 70 if they so choose, in other words, of their own volition. Will you change the administrative rules that apply and pertain to CE supervisors so that they can be treated in a similar and equitable fashion and work beyond the age of 65 in their roles that if they wish to do so, because of the pension situation, which is militating more strongly against them than any other sector?
Minister, 2 minutes.
Thanks, Deputy Penrose. The Government agrees that the compulsory retirement age of most public servants recruited before the 1st of April 2004 should be increased to age 70, and that such additional service would continue to accrue retirement benefits subject to the maximum of 40 years service. This was provided for in the Public Service Superannuation Age of Retirement Act 2018, which passed just before Christmas, and is the responsibility of my colleague Minister for Finance and Public Expenditure and Reform. Community employment participants and supervisors are employees of private companies in the community and voluntary sector. My department is not the employer of CE participants or supervisors, and such employees are not public servants, but they are employees of the sponsoring organisations, and they are not therefore subject to the changes recently introduced for public servants who can now work until they're 70. Funding for the employment of supervisors or community employment is available until the supervisor reaches the state pension age. The Social Welfare and Pensions Act 2011 provided for the necessary amendments to increase the state pension age in line with the National Pensions Framework, and it provided for an increase in the age qualification for the state pension from 66 years to 67 from 2021, and a further increase to 68 years from 2028. And that's open to CE supervisors to remain on CE until the working day before their birthday, on which they reach the state pension age, as follows: 66 for those born on or before the 1st of January 1955, 67 for those born on or after the 1st of January 1955, and 68 for those born on or after the 1st of January 1961.
Deputy Penrose, 1 minute.
Saying that those CE supervisors, because I know one scheme where the supervisor has been made retire in April. It has been advertised for over a month and no applicants. So can that person stay on? That's a very simple question. Because community services seem to provide essential services across the towns and villages and parishes of this country, urban and rural, and they're publicly funded. And, you know, this thing of creating what I would call, it's a kind of a purposeful, constructive corporate veil between the government and the group that's carrying on. This is a nonsense. This has to be broken down. The same is going on with the pensions. It's cowboy stuff. If some company outside was doing it, you call them cowboys. But I want to charge that every government, and one who is a member of it, are cowboys. They're trying to fool people. There's 44 supervisor community employment schemes between 65 and 66. I want to know, can they now continue working beyond 65 or beyond 66, as you says, can they? And because you can't have one rule for one group and another rule for another group. And this will be a simple administrative decision if you change it, and it's the right thing. And the Taoiseach said it was up to the employer. And again, this corporate veil or Chinese wall or whatever you like to call it, it's time to stop this nonsense. They're all employees. They're doing invaluable work, but we don't treat them as invaluable employees.
Ministers, 1 minute.
Thanks, Deputy. And I know how passionately you feel about this because you've been talking about CE for many, many years here. But I will remind you, and you were probably here when it was established, CE was established as a working age activation scheme. And so therefore the people who are on it have to be of working age. And so right now, and I don't know the date of birth of the person that you're talking about, and I'm certainly happy to take his or her details off you and look into it later on today, but they have to retire when they reach retirement age. And for that, it's 66 now. In a number of years, it'll be 67. In a few years, in 2028, it'll be 68. And that's the rules that govern the working age activation programme for both participants, assistant supervisors and supervisors of the CE programmes as it currently stands at the moment.
Deputy Penrose.
Asking the Labour Court recommendation in July 2008 about establishing a pension scheme funded by the government. You know, I mean, you saw yesterday, Ministers, a very responsible, sensible cohort of people who act in very important positions. And they're not looking for the world. And you heard some of them say on the picket line most would like a pension to take an acknowledgement of the role, or at least a decent ex gratia payment, which would, you know, those who are no longer retired would certainly do it at this stage. Many of them are in very impoverished positions. Is there any way that this matter can be resolved, or what steps are you taking to resolve it?
Minister Doherty has 1 minute.
Thanks, Deputy. To be honest with you, to answer your question, is I don't know. But what I do know is that we are actively pursuing every and any way of trying to fix this particular issue without causing the contagion that we know it will currently cause. And I think, to be fair, completely and entirely fair to the two unions that are involved in representing all of our CE supervisors and assistant supervisors, they have also come up with different ideas in the last couple of months that just aren't manageable or workable. So we are collectively working together. I do acknowledge that it was sad, I suppose, that they had to go out yesterday, but maybe it's going to make us redouble our efforts to make sure that we do find a solution. But the solution has to be found within the confines of not costing the state in excess of 600 million. And if I can find a way to do that, I will find a way to do it. But it's not as easy as it sounds. But I'm not going to give up. As long as I'm here, I'm going to keep trying. So.